All right, today I'm reviewing the Veikk A30 pen tablet. It's a graphics tablet for drawing art stuff or just playing Osu. Don't mind the gunk on the top. This is actually where the shipping label from Amazon was attached. When I got it from Amazon, it wasn't actually in any packaging whatsoever. It was just this bare box is what it shipped in, and they just slapped the shipping label on it. So this is all the gunk from Amazon. I'm not sure if that's related to the manufacturer or just how Amazon deals with things. But this is the hardware portion of my review, where we will be looking at the packaging, what's in the box, what's inside, and some of the technical specs that they say they have, and before we test it on the software portion of the review on a computer. So overall, the packaging is pretty nice. Pretty simple with photo of the product, some basic statistics, 250 PPS report rate, so that's polls per second, 5,080 lines LPI, so lines per inch. Lines per inch? I think it's lines per inch. Resolution, and supposedly 8,192 levels of pressure sensitivity. So that's definitely something we will test when we plug this in and go through the software and all the drivers. And again, more technical specs about the resolution, again, the keys. But overall, pretty basic, nothing special. Amazon fulfillment sticker, because this was purchased on Amazon. So I actually haven't opened this before, so I'll be going through this with you for the first time. Let's take a look. Peel this security sticker. Considering this was left on my doorstep completely exposed, I think this is the only way I know that someone didn't tamper with it. So let's see. Let's see, what do we got here? I think this is the tablet itself. Ooh, nice. You get that nice peeling feeling. Was that too fast for you? Oh, nice. So this has a 6x10 active area, which is actually similar to the monoprice drawing tablet I had earlier. But this has a really nice finish. I think this is the little touchpad. This is like a glass-like. It has 4 different hotkeys, and I don't know if you can see this, but the little corners mark out the active area. There's a more finished area, and then there's the actual active area. And let's take a look at this. Nothing on the back besides anti-grip, anti-slip pads. No attached cable. Here it is. So this is the cable port. It's a bit recessed, but it is USB-C. So it is a replaceable cable, not one that's built in that's liable to get damaged. But how deeply it's recessed has a concern about cable compatibility. Let's see what else comes in the box. Thank you / customer service card. I guess it's meant to look like a CD, but really it just directs you to their website, Veikk.com, to download the drivers. And if you need support, their service at Veikk.com. All right, let's see here. And this fancy, almost felt like sleeve is the pen. One nice thing about this pen, 2 buttons, that isn't an active area. Nice sleeve. It's very light, but it has some size to it. We'll compare this to other pens later. And here's the USB-C cable. Nice. So it has a right angle connector, but as you can see, it's quite deep considering how recessed the port was. So it is a replaceable cable, and it is a USB-C standard, which is actually the first I've seen in a graphics tablet of this kind. But it may not work with all cables, depending on the depth and width of your connector. And let's see if there's anything else in the box. Oh, there is something in the box. Some quick start guide. Let's take a look at this. Quick start guide. It's in English. Outlines things I already went over with you. So let's see if we're missing anything. Everything that's in the box. Driver support. So what this little accessory bag is replacement tips. There seem to be 3, 6, 8 of them, and a tip remover. So that's nice that it does come with some tips, because some pens I've bought actually haven't. All right, so let's get some of these accessories out of the way and take a look at the tablet again. So this is the Veikk tablet, pen sleeve, pen, tip remover and tips, and USB cable, and driver download instructions. Everything that came with the box. But this isn't my first graphics tablet, so let's provide some context and compare this to my old one. First, let's look at the pen, because that's the easiest to deconstruct. I really like this sleeve that it comes with. So this is the Veikk pen. It's very light. There is no battery in it, so it's actually purely powered by the device, which is actually pretty unique considering the only other pens I know that do that are the Wacom stuff. In comparison, let's put this so you can get a bit of sense of scale. This is the Veikk pen versus a Surface pen. These have quadruple A batteries inside, so this is significantly heavier. This is a plastic finish. This is almost aluminum-like finish, but this is heavier because of the battery inside. No side buttons, 2 side buttons. Versus, let's see, this is the Silo pen from my ThinkPad graphics tablet. It has an internal battery, but it's lithium-ion that charges through these ports. 2 buttons. A lot bigger than the Silo pen, well, as you expect. But when you're using the Wacom EMR on the tablet, sometimes that's not comfortable and ergonomic at all. So this is actually a Toshiba Wacom EMR pen that's compatible with. It's made for Toshiba tablets, but I like it because it's ergonomic grip. No internal battery because this is Wacom tech, but only 1 button. It's actually, the Toshiba is much larger. And this is the Monoprice pen, 2 buttons, and we're actually going to compare the Veikk to the, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, to the Monoprice tablet that came with this pen. So these are technically So let's put the pens to the side. These technically have the exact same active area. 6 by 10, the active area on this tablet is about here versus about here on the Veikk. But as you can see, this touchpad, I think these are just, I think these acts as a scroll wheel. An application, we'll show you that in the software section, and 4 hotkeys. This is a much more modern design versus this older style one, where you had to touch. You could assign hotkeys here, but these were pen-enabled and physical buttons. It's physically much smaller. So if you're a portable artist, even though they have the same active area, the Monoprice is physically much bigger. And unlike the Veikk, which has a removable USB-C cable, this has a removable cable, which has taken a beating over the years, because I've had this. This was one of my first drawing tablets, and I still have it. I mostly have moved to pen-enabled tablet PCs, but I still kept this around, and I figured I'd blow some of the dust off just for comparison purpose, because Monoprice still does sell this. And actually, they go for about the same price, and just the build quality of the Veikk is actually really impressive, especially when compared side by side to some of its competitors, like this Monoprice. Not quite Wacom standard, but much nicer than some of the other pen-enabled computer tablets I've used. But that's it for my hardware comparison. Once again, that Monoprice, the various pens. I'll see you in the next part of the review in the software section. Alright, so we're at the PC portion of our review. So this is the Amazon listing of the Veikk A30, the graphics tablet we're reviewing, and it's where I purchased it. But following the instructions on the blue disc, once you get it, you go to Veikk.com, right here, homepage, and you can download the drivers at download. And the drivers for the A30, they actually have a generic Windows driver and a Mac driver, and it seems pretty smart in that it detects which device you have, and then acts appropriately. So I'm on Windows, so I clicked download driver for Windows and installed it, and the driver application is right here. You may need to restart it if the tablet wasn't already plugged in after the app. So you probably want to install the driver, plug it in, wait, and if it doesn't immediately detect the tablet, restart the application. You'll be on your little hidden icons, tablet driver settings, right-click exit, and then relaunch it. So here we have the configuration app. And here you could see the representation of the pen, where you can configure what button 1 and what button 2 do. And it shows a visual representation of the pressure curve. The pressure sensitivity on the pen is okay. It has a relatively light activation point. It says it has 8,000 levels of pressure sensitivity, but I didn't see a noticeable increase in sensitivity versus the 1,000 levels of pressure sensitivity we got on the older style Surface or the 512 of my ThinkPad based device or the Surface. So it says 8,000, but I don't know. Maybe as you got more used to it, you can hit more discrete points. But for me, it is pretty sensitive. It would be I'd say it would be comparable to Wacom EMR or the new I guess it's Microsoft who bought them now. The Microsoft Surface Pen. No tilt sensitivity like you would on the modern Surface Pens, but relatively good pressure sensitivity. I really like that it has a relatively light activation point. But in terms of discrete units of pressure, it says it has 8,000. Maybe as I get used to it, I can get more out of it. But I haven't been able to notice an increased performance or increased sensitivity versus the other pen tablets I've used. So this is the pen screen where you can configure this pen settings. Excuse me. And here you can do the mapping. It has both a right and left-handed mode. And you could map either specific areas of the screen or all the screen. Really useful if you have multiple monitors and you only want to make one your work area. And here you have the function settings. So here you configure the 4 touch zones. So you see they light up after I press them. And it also has a touchpad. Though it's not like a general touchpad, it actually has like 4 shortcut keys you can program as if they were buttons. So you start at the center and you move upwards is one shortcut. Start at the center, move down, that's another shortcut. Start at the center, move left. Start at the center, move right. So on and so forth. That's how the touchpad works. And you could do different settings for different apps. So for example, let's say you have a specific drawing application that has a specific set of settings. Here's Fire Alpaca, my drawing application. You can set different settings for Fire Alpaca over, let's say, Photoshop or Clip Studio Paint. So that is really nice that you could set different hotkey settings, at least for the K buttons, for each app, and with the touchpad. So it is a generic one for all apps, and you can also make application specific, which is actually a really cool feature. And then here's my test document where I was testing I didn't notice any noticeable jitter. I don't have a straight edge on me. Otherwise, I would test the straight edge. It has a relatively light activation point. Gosh, I haven't used these pen-enabled the graphics tablets outside of OSU for maybe 6 years. It's relatively sensitive. I really like the material of the active area, and a nice change of pace versus using Microsoft Surface is I don't have to worry about palm rejection on this graphics tablet versus a pen-enabled computer. Normally you'd have to wear like one of those artist gloves, which they actually sell. Veikk actually has a bunch of accessories for their drawing tablets, and they do have an artist's glove, but the artist's glove isn't actually applicable to this since it's a pen-enabled active area, not an actual touch display. This is a touch display, but the active area is pen only, so you don't have to worry about palm rejection and other problems that are with something like the Surface or my ThinkPad over there. But overall, I'd say it is a pretty serviceable graphics tablet. For less than $50, I've used some of the competitors at that price point. I think it has superior build quality. The drivers seem actually okay. And it's been a pleasure to use. I'd like to thank Veikk for sending me sending me this hardware at a discount in order to review for you. And hopefully I'll have this uploaded pretty soon.